Shalom, shalom. Anak na waha ay barya sha Allah hawalakim la'atam, kal shabwai ba'aracha, wa kakshaya b'shemel shah. Hey, we the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of b'shemel shah. Kal halayim la, Yahweh b'shemel shah, b'shem rcha hakodash. Wa mashana kabadim zekoyim na wa malakim shoya shal ha zekoyim rcha gadawa. Wa chasa wa shalom wa barakim la b'chaya shal ha kabaya shal shalom. Alright, so all praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means He exists. By Hashem in the name Yahweh Shah He delivers. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, peace. All right, this is a article just going into this new law that they have created. All right. It says, Illinois mayor drops hammer on new state law eliminating cash bail massive threat. All right. We must not allow this law to stand as passed, the mayor warns. It says, an Illinois mayor sounded the alarm on how dangerous a state law that eliminates cash bail will be, arguing communities will be left more vulnerable and victims of crimes will lose their constitutional rights. All right. And, you know, like a brother was going into, it's not going to be to where instantly, you know, it's all out chaos. But this is where it's headed to, you see. And it's not just going to stop in Chicago or in Illinois, you see. And they already got a high crime rate due to the city of Chicago. All right. It's going to leave people more vulnerable because just through experience, like if you don't have that whole bail system set up, you just got people roaming the streets that have committed crimes, you see. So not everyone has the same type of mental stability. You see, those without the truth, you see, they're going to do what they're used to doing, and that's committing those types of crimes and stuff. And some of the crimes and stuff mentioned in this article is pretty serious crimes, you know. But let's keep going. It says, we must not allow this law to stand as passed. Orland Park Mayor Keith Pekow said Tuesday at a town meeting, I can't even begin to tell you how dangerous this act is. It says, the Orland Village Board unanimously passed a resolution Tuesday demanding state legislators work with public safety representatives to address problems that they see with safety, accountability, and fairness equity today act. The village is mostly located in Cook County, which is like nearby Chicago, the most populated county in the state. All right, and what's ironic about this is it says Safety Act. You see, and this devil is doing that on the left hand side. You see, they're trying to make sure that it's complete chaos because they said they dropping that new currency in December. All right, and then everything else going on. You see, just the plagues that the Lord is sending. Cause they want Esau wants everybody to fall into his trap. You see, where they taking that they begging for the charagma, you know. And at the same time, we can get in another article, Lord's will, how they're gonna come with that persecution. You see, with all this stuff playing down the pipe, they're gonna be pointing the fingers. You see, at the men of the Lord, you know, and then they're gonna offer the solution. Hey, this is the solution to all the problems, and they're gonna try to fix it, so called, with that charagma. It says the Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed the bill into law last year. Provisions such as eliminating cash bail will take effect January 1st of 2023. The law makes Illinois the first state in the country to eliminate cash bail. So it's going to be nothing but demons on the streets. You see, I'm going to skip down. It says, this is the words of the dude, Pekow. It says, but it doesn't end here. It's not going to end here. You see, it's only going to get worse and get worse before it get worse. You see, and you try to tell Jake, but Jake, he don't give a fuck, man. You see, Jake is worried about partying, bullshitting, drugs, women, and Jake got his mind on everything else. You see. It says, but it doesn't end here. It said, Pekow, there is currently a bill in front of the House to remove school resource officers from our schools, which means no school resource officer at Sandburg High School. The city of Chicago has already done this, you see, so they don't got the school resource officers, and they already pushing that ABC shit, you know. So without any type of so-called order, it's gonna be a lawless society. You see, going into the lawless society, and at the same time, without the order, the so-called order, this it's gonna be a faithless society. Just tying into Second Ezra, the fifth chapter. You see, and without with that famine of the word being present, you see, it's gonna be more of a chaotic society. You see, but let's keep going. It says, the city of Chicago has already done this. He said, I personally do not want to see the city of Chicago become the standard for how we conduct public safety because they have abandoned their police officers, abandoned their residents, and created a war zone full of criminals. So Chicago is already terrible. You see, they call it Chirac. That's what Jake call it, Chirac. You see, but this is prior to this bill. What's gonna happen after the bill? You see. Now let's skip down some because I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm gonna read this right here. It says, a press release from Orland Park Village states the abolishing cash bill will affect almost every offense, including kidnapping, armed robbery, second-degree murder, drug-induced homicide, aggravated DUI, threatening a public official, and aggravated fleeing and eluding. Town leadership also argued that victims of crimes will be denied their constitutional rights. Denounce how the offenders released on electronic monitors device will need to be in violation of their parole for 48 hours before police can act. You see, so that before they can do anything, before they can even respond, it's going to allow them 48 hours, and by that time they can go and commit more crimes, or they can just run away. You see, it says, and police will no longer be able to remove trespassers from a residence or a business. So if somebody is on your property, then they're not gonna be able to do anything. The police can't do anything. Is they leaving it up to the citizens. So if you got bugged out people and they're not really using the wisdom, they're gonna react how they feel like reacting in that moment. You see, most people is not used to those types of situations, so they're gonna act out of impulse. You see, and especially being that they're not guided by the spirit. Well, specifically not guided by the spirit, so they're gonna be acting just out of fear. It says, it's like they won't stop until they destroy our communities and our society. Pekau said at the meeting, we all need to take a stand against this. This is a very dangerous bill. Yeah, it's funny, man. Let me get a quick precept, though. It's leading up into Jacob's trouble, but you see, I'm going to get this verse. This is Isaiah 47:1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. It says, come down and sit in the dust, you see, because Esau is being taken out of power. You see, and these Edomites see that. That's why he said, let's take a stand for it. Nah, sit your ass down. It says, and sit in the dust. You see, that dust represents confusion because this place is going to go back to its rightful state, and that's going to be confusion. You see, it says, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, or daughter of the Chaldeans. You see, and they take on all the ways of the ancient Chaldeans with all their witchcraft, their sorcery, and how they communicate with necromancers and different demons and stuff like that. It says, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. You see, because this place is being exposed for all the wickedness, it's hypocrisy, and the inception of America, Babylon the Great is being brought back into the scope of everybody's, basically how America was founded is being brought into remembrance. You see, everybody's calling out America for their bullshit. You see how they are in other people's affairs, but they can't handle what they got going on in their own country, you know. But let's get some precepts because, again, this is leading up to Jacob's trouble. All right. This is Jeremiah 30:7. It says, 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. You see, because it said that in that time, even the mighty man was going to cry bitterly. You see? So the men without the spirit of the Lord are going to be out here through. You know, they're not gonna have any answers for anything that's going on. You know. Verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. You see? So none of these days that have ever been on time on the planet Earth is going to be like Jacob's trouble. If you go to the worst time, I looked up what was the worst time in history, or the most death, and it was World War II. And it was roughly 75 million deaths around the world. And it's going to be a worse time than that. You see, because you got shortages of everything. Everything is being collapsed. You see, the Lord is bringing that judgment. Everything is being collapsed. Food shortages, war, crime, riots, everything. This place is being destroyed systematically. You see, Shal. Let's keep going. It says, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. You see, so Jacob's trouble is really for 2/3. You know, but the elect is still gonna have to go through. The elect is still gonna have to go through straits. You see, but the elect is gonna be saved out of it. All right, let's keep going. This is Acts chapter 14 and verse 22. Because again, the elect's gonna have to go through things, because you're gonna have to go through the fire, by them nukes, or you're gonna have to be you're gonna have to go through the fire by being tried by the Lord. You see, because remember, it said that we will no longer come in unclean. You see, so we got to be cleansed. You see, whether you get cleansed by the word on this side, or whether you get destroyed on this side. You see, but we're all going to be clean come the kingdom. You see, it says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. All right, so the elect is going to go through straits. All right, and they're going to be delivered. You see, but 2/3 are going to be destroyed in that tribulations and Jacob's trouble. All right. And this is Daniel. Let me see. Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1 says, and at that time shall Michael stand up the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. You see, and that's the elect. Those are the ones that are going to be delivered. You see, things is going to get so bad to where Michael, the archangel, Micah Allah in the Hebrew, he's going to have to defend the elect. You see, and this is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, being the scriptures, putting on the scriptures as a defense. You see, trusting in the Lord, because the elect does this. It says, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which is going to come on all the world, as the scripture is going to get into. But you see, the hour of temptation is where they drop that sea ragma. You see, it says, which shall come upon all the world to try them to try them that dwell upon the earth. And we can go into that word try. Try. It says to try. Make trial of tests for the purpose of ascertaining his quality, or what he thinks, or how he will behave himself. You see, so whether you're gonna hold fast to your integrity. You see, but let's keep going down. It says to solicit, to sin, to tempt. All right. It says to test and endeavor, scrutinize, entice, discipline, assay, examine, go about, prove, tempt, or try, to see what you're made of. You see. Now let's go into this base word. It says a trial, attempt, to make trial of a person or a thing. The base word is right here, G4008. It says apparently accusative case of an obsolete derivative of Piero to pierce. Let me go back. Just give me a second. To try. from G3984. It says, through the idea of piercing, you see, so that's going to be the trial. The hour of temptation is going to be that charagma, which goes, which is a subdermal device, you see, that's connected to buying and selling. All right. It says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So everybody's going to be tried. All right. And whether the spirit is dwelling with you is what's going to prove if you're going to be the elect. You see, those that fold and take that, they're going to be destroyed. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Chapter 15 and verse 14. It says, woe to them, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Destruction to the world and those that dwell in the world. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. You see, we can see all the, it said, measure thou the times diligently in itself, and when thou see part of the times past, then thou shalt very well understand that the highest shall begin the world in which he made. You see, roughly paraphrasing. So it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. We see everything lining up, coming down the pipe. So it's nigh, it's near. Nigh means near. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. You see, we seeing that division. We seeing a clash. You see, you got people that, remember in the purge, you had people that was for it, and you had people that was against it. You see, so that division. You see, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. Sedition goes into a violent uprising. You see, or going up against those in governmental authority. All right. It says, they shall not regard their kings nor their princes. You see, in this law perfectly sets it up, you see, to where they're going to be like, well, shit, fuck it, you know. You ain't got to pay a bill. You know, they can't detain you. You see, when you can't detain somebody, then if you can't detain them for something, you could have, you know what I'm saying, like law enforcement officers to where they like, well, shit, if you can't detain them, you might not necessarily question them about it. So they would have to have like evidence and stuff like that to where they're going to press charges and stuff like that. You know, I'm going to read it again. It says, verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You see, so people are going to be doing whatever it is they want to do. You see, and just going back to the like the specifications of that law. You see, they're not going to be like detaining people. You see, when you detain someone, basically that's the part where you're trying to get evidence, or you have reasonable suspicion, but you're trying to get evidence to where you can say, all right, well, we're gonna take this guy down to booking or whatever. You see, and without that step, you know, they already got it to where people, they're not really responding to different calls. So if someone's like, oh, this happened, you see, if that particular victim or bystander, whoever, someone that they can use as evidence, if they don't got the person's identity, then you know, they don't got a case. You see, so like if someone, you got people that are professional criminals. So if they know how to play the game, then they're going to play the game. You see, and basically by this law is just setting them up to where they're going to thrive at. You see, verse 16 or verse 17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able. You see, because somehow, some way, they're going to have it to where cities is blocked off. You see, you're going to be trapped in a bubble. And they already got these cities set up to where everything is in the main city. They got Jake trapped. You see, Jake is all in the inner city. That's why they call it the inner city, because Jake is in the city. You see, the inner city is usually where Jake is like downtown and stuff like that. But they got all the niggas in the city, and then they live on the outskirts in the suburbs and shit. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Going back to Jeremiah 30 and 6 and 7. Roughly paraphrases, men shall be asked now whether ye see men with their hands on their loins. You see, men is gonna be afraid out here. These mighty men, so called. All right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. You see, because it's going to be a lot of hell going on out here. You see, and we're in rough times right now. You see, but it's not rough to where it's full fledged, but it's gonna get worse. You see, and we coming up into that time very swiftly. You see, we'll go to First Peter chapter. It's a lot. A second. Yeah, First Peter chapter 4 and verse 12. It says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you." You see, so we shouldn't think anything is out of the ordinary, because we're going to be tried. It said in Sirach chapter 2 that we was going to be tried. You see, so we got to set our heart right, being that we got to stay in the scriptures. You see, and prepare to be tempted. You see, because we have to get those impurities out of us. You see, it says as though something strange happened to you, because the Lord already told us that we was going to be tried. You know, so we got to prepare ourselves for these things. All right. Go to 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 70. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, because that persecution is coming." You see, they're going to try to point fingers at the men of the Lord. "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord." You see, because they're going to make us appear as the bad guys when we only telling the truth. You see, everything that has happened has been prophesied by Yahweh Shal, which he has given that understanding to his men. You see, it says, "Then they shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire." You see, so it's going to be a certain telltale sign that, hey, the Lord is dealing with that man. You see, it says, "And they shall be tried as gold in the fire." You see, and that's so that we can be made more precious than that golden wedge of Ophir mentioned in Isaiah chapter 13. It says, "Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same." So you see, the Lord is going to deliver his elect. You see, it says, "Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your God." So the Spirit is leading the elect. You see, so we have nothing to worry about. You see, we continue on his path. All right, but this is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. You see, because everything it's so much stuff going on right now. You know, everything is coming. Is prophecy is just popping off the pages. You know, and that's because Esau is coming with that great wrath on the left hand side. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them." You see, talking about those in the heavens and those that have their conduct in the heavens, being the elect. It says, "And ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Going back to Isaiah 47 and 1, you see, because it says, "Come down and sit in the dust." This man sees that his kingdom is being taken away from him. You see, so he's coming with that great wrath. He's not going out without a fight. And a part of that great wrath is going to be the changing of his laws, the draconian laws, and how he runs his society. Is going to be a pandemonium society, if that's how you say it, which means all demons. You see, all demonium, all demons. You see, it's going to be nothing but demonic activity out here. All right. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10, it says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." You see, because the Lord said, "Strive for the truth till death, and the Lord shall fight for thee." You see, because some of us is going to have to die for the truth. You see, but it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth the incorruptible crown. You see, well, it ain't nothing on this side. So if it came down to that, you see, it's a righteous cause, and we can get that incorruptible crown. You see, this is Second Ezra, chapter 2. This is Second Ezra, chapter 2. And verse 27, it reads, "Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance." You see, so ultimately the elect is going, it ain't gonna be in the same spirit as 2/3, because they're going to be weeping and being sorrowful. You see, but the elect has stored up in their spiritual bank account, so the Lord is going to cover them in that moment. You see, and in 2/3, they seeing that their world has fallen, but the elect have their eyes at the end of the tunnel. You see, so they got something to look forward to. Whereas 2/3 again is going to be in that spirit, the spirit of weariness, sorrow, and like, damn, like what the fuck's going on? You see, they're gonna be extremely worried. They don't have that. They ultimately don't got the vision, like the scriptures say, where there is no vision, the people perish. All right, we got a few more, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 21. It reads, it says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be." So it's never going to be a worse time like Jacob's trouble. You see, after this comes the kingdom. And in the Hebrew, it will be Tazarah, Shal, Yaiqab. Tazarah, Shal, Yaiqab. All right. Tazarah being trouble. Shal of Yaiqab is Jacob's trouble. So going back to the aforementioned WW2, you see that was a time where it was a whole bunch of death, 75 million roughly, and that was an estimate. You see, it's going to be a lot more death. You see, let's go to Revelation chapter 12 and verse 17. It says, "And the dragon was wroth with the woman." You see, that dragon represents Esau, Edom. It says was wroth, which is angry, with the woman, and that woman being Israel, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. All right, and the remnant of her seed is the elect, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Hamashiach Yahushua. So they're gonna make war with the elect, you see, but they're not gonna prevail. All right, and we're entering into those times. All right, but this is Sirach chapter 2. Sirach 2. Damn. Sirach 2 and verse 5, it says, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." You see, so again, the elect is going to be tried and made more precious than the golden wedge of Ophir. So the impurities can be taken out of us. All right. And we're going to go to the last precept. This is Isaiah 4 and 1. It's a lot. It says, "And in that day in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach." You see? So in that time of Jacob's trouble, it's gonna be so bad that women gonna want a man regardless of if he got a woman or not. You see, because in that time, pride not gonna take hold of those that's their fate to take hold of a man of the Lord. You see, so they gonna humble themselves. They're gonna humble down in that day. Because that dream that they were sold is truly not gonna be. It's not gonna come to no avail. You see? But yeah, we in those times. You see? Like Akim go into it, we in those times. All right, but I brought Tazarah. Was that a phone call? Like, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Bahashim Kakadashe Shalom.